So here we are. Once we have created a Facebook profile picture, a Facebook header picture, we have saved all those documents in the original software, and after that we have exported these files into PNG files ready to be placed in InDesign. We are actually building a mockup, a Facebook page mockup. So the first step you have to do is create 3 different layers. The first one is already there. You just have to click here in the layers panel, create new layer. You do that twice and you double click on the layer name in order to rename it. So the first layer should be the template. The second one is going to be a gradient, and the third one is going to be for images and text. We don't have too many things to add to this document, but please follow me here so you make sure you create your things properly. So we're going to have to place a reference here as a template. So basically it's a screenshot coming from Facebook. There are 2 different ways of placing pictures in InDesign. To start with, you can create a placeholder, okay? Make sure you choose the frame tool here, rectangle frame tool or ellipse frame tool. These are placeholders for pictures. So you can do that and then place a picture in it, in the placeholder, in the shape. Or you can just choose directly in the menu, File, Place, and the placeholder is going to come with the picture. So we're going to do that to start with. I'm going to tell you why. So I click File, Place, and make sure all your pictures are in the same folder. So you better create or have a links folder. These pictures will be linked to the software, well, to the file, actually to the document. So I have all the pictures I need in the same folder. I'm going to choose a Facebook page template here. So I'm going to choose Open. Now I'm going to click on the top left corner here. I'm just going to click here. So as you can see, it puts my picture starting from the top left corner, but the size of my picture is the exact same size as my document. So this is why I didn't have to create a placeholder. I just chose File, Place. I clicked in the corner and the picture is fitting perfectly into my document. But this is exceptional. But in this case, it's working just fine. So I have my template here. By the way, it's a bit blurry. Don't forget this is a preview in InDesign. It's like a window. If we are looking at a picture through a window. So it's a preview. The original picture is still on my computer in my links folder. You can modify the preview if you want. If you go in the view menu, you have this display performance. By default, it's typical display. You could choose high quality display. In this case, it looks a bit more, it's better. So the gradient, I'm going to wait a bit because I want it to match my images and text. So I'm going to go directly on my images and text layer. I'm going to use guides to help me build this. You should see a ruler on the top and on the left side. If you click directly in the ruler and drag, you're going to bring a guide. So I'm going to redo this. I was not perfectly on it. You better zoom a bit if you want to make sure you put your guides correctly. I'm going to click in my ruler on the left side and bring one here. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. These will be helpful for me when it comes to time to place the pictures. I'm going to bring another one underneath the visual here. And 2 more right here. So 1 at the top of my circle here and 1 on the left of my circle right here. That's it. So I have enough guides. Now I'm gonna choose to draw placeholders. So first of all, you choose the rectangle frame tool. I'm gonna click here, top left corner, and drag down here. Okay, so I have one placeholder here. I'm gonna put just temporarily a stroke color to it, and the color is there. You're gonna understand why. Any color will do. Okay, and I need one more shape, which is hidden underneath the rectangle frame tool, which is the ellipse frame tool. So according to my guides, I'm going to zoom a bit. I'm going to click here and drag, but I have to hold the shift key if I want a circle, if I want to make a perfect circle, because if I don't, it's going to be an ellipse. So I really need to hold the shift key while I'm doing this. There you go. Okay, so I covered the space here. All right, so let's go back to this rectangle here. I'm just gonna hide those two so you can see. So I have a rectangle here. As you can see, this is my placeholder. I just want to make a very simple change, actually, which is sorry about that, which is putting some round corners here on the left and here on the right. So look here, you have options in the properties panels in the appearance section. If you click on the word corner, you see there corner size and shape. Okay, so by default this box is tick. That means if you are making a change, it's going to apply to the 4 different corners. We don't want that. We want to make a change at the bottom left, bottom right corners. So remove that. Make sure there's a line crossing here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom so you can see. Right here, you see, this is the type of corner by default. What I want to choose is rounded. There you go, you see, and you can change the size of it, but for this exercise we can keep it as at 12 pixels, and we're gonna do the same exact thing on the right. I'm gonna choose rounded. There you go. So bottom left, bottom right, they will be rounded. I'm gonna click OK. So there you go. Now we have those corners, just so you can see my line here. This is perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna click, make sure I selected my box. I'm gonna choose File, Place, and place my header I created before, the PNG file, of course. Open. Now, you see there are 2 circles in the middle. If you put your mouse over this, you're gonna see a little hand appearing. If you click on that, that selects actually the picture. It's fine because it's centered, right? I don't have to adjust the size of this one, so that's great. I'm just gonna remove in my properties panel actually the stroke color. I'm gonna remove that and choose none. That was temporary. The last picture I have to place is here, so I select my circle here. I'm gonna choose File, Place, and go get my profile picture, PNG file. Now if I click in the middle, I can see that my picture is way much bigger than the circle. You can adjust it manually if you want. You can grab a corner, hold shift and reduce, but this is a bit of trouble. You can have a look in your properties panel, frame fitting section. The second one, it means fit content proportionally. So if I click there, my picture is going to reduce and fit the content by keeping its proportions. So that's a fast way to adjust the size of the picture into a picture placeholder. Now the third element I want to add is of course the name of my event here. So I'm going to choose the type tool on the left, click and drag. I'm going to create a text box. I'm going to type in it. and write down the name of my event, which is actually sorry about that, Event Fest. I'm going to change the font, of course. So select my text in the properties panel, always character, and from there I can choose Arial, and instead of regular I'm going to choose bold. Of course I'm going to make it bigger. Oh, and that's a bit it's too big. Okay, something like that. It's gonna do it. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure that this text frame is gonna cover the type that's on my template. I'm gonna reduce this box just a bit. Now, if you look in the properties panel, the appearance fill here, it's none. I'm gonna click there and choose white to color the box, because I can choose another color, but I'm gonna make it white so it covers the template in the background. The last object I have to create is a gradient in the background. So make sure you click on the proper layer. If you want, you can hide temporarily the first layer, or you can lock it. It's up to you, but make sure you click on the proper layer. You just have to create a rectangle covering the whole width. There you go. And you have to fill it with a gradient. So again, in the properties panel, appearance, you click here. As you can see, you have your swatches, you have the color panel, and you have also the gradient option. So apply to frame and make sure you actually click on the gradient. Now the issue here, oh, my box is not correctly done. The issue here is that the gradient is actually horizontal and I want it vertical. So let's go back here for a second in the gradient. So as you can see, there's an angle here. You can change the number there, 90 degrees. Okay, so gradient, 90 degrees, that's a start. It might be black and white on your side, so you keep the white, but you have to modify the color here by clicking on this little house, little square with an arrow on top, something like that, and you can create actually your own color so it matches your actual design. Okay, so it's not very complicated. Maybe you already have a specific recipe, something like that, but it's not that complicated. So you just have to change the color here. Don't forget the angle here, 90 degrees, and gradient. Make sure to save your file properly, and once you're done for your specific project, you have to click File, Export, and save it as a JPEG file that's going to be just perfect for your document of presentation. So you click Save and you're done.